raining in Alabama. I may have misunderstood that. I thought they said up to 1 foot an hour. That's a lot. It's not as much as they got in South Arkansas, though. That's a disaster down there around Dumas, 10 or 15 miles north of Matt. He didn't get as much rain as they did north of him, but he's getting all the drainage pretty much has to come through him. So they've got crops that have been underwater for over a week. I mean, it's probably 10 days, and there's just no good outcome. Here it is late June, not much option, because even water gets off. It's not too late to plant beans. We're planting some double crop beans right now, but water's off today. It's going to take it a week to dry out probably. Then you got to go up and clean. You got to go out and clean up the mess. Probably some old dead crop residue. I'm sure every situation is different, but I mean, there's just other factors. Just because the water's off of it's got to dry out and get it cleaned up and figure out what you're going to do. There may be some herbicide restrictions where they can't plant back into crops, just depending on some herbicide residual carryover. I don't know. It's not good. And we were wet too. I mean, I hate to blame everything on the weather, but in farming, it always seems to revolve around the weather. We've been wet just on and off, on and off. We finally got our crop in. We're down to double crop beans. But really, we're probably 10 days late on that. Now it's turned off dry. So we're having to irrigate corn, fertilize corn. We've got all our beans sprayed. We're spraying some that we've just gotten planted, but it definitely could be worse. I guess we'll get out of here and y'all just come along for the ride. I've got a gut feeling this is going to be a good year. The farmer is the eternal optimist.
We farm together as a family. If we all put our heads together, I don't know what we couldn't achieve.
Hopefully we hit 90 bushel. I think we could do it. Just have healthy plants and a good return on investment.
One of the worst things about farming is making a decision on planting depth. 1/4 of an inch on your depth, sometimes you won't get a stand.
As you can see, my pinky ring's empty, so obviously I didn't win. With this class of guys that's in Podfathers, I mean, anyone could win.
So here we are, June, or is it around the 20th? It's gonna be about 93 degrees today. We're fertilizing corn, we're watering corn, we're spraying soybeans that are up. That's pretty much done. We've got a few more to do for weed control and some other management tools, I guess, some fertility and stuff, fungicide. We'll probably talk about all that later. But we are planting our double crop beans. We've got a few late beans that we'll be spraying some pre-emerge on, actually. Because those fields we've just gotten through planted that weren't double crop have been underwater all year. So the water just got off of them earlier this week, and we slipped in there and got them planted. So not a lot of acres, but a few hundred. The end's in sight. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel for easier days, but it just all comes together. A lot of management going on. Why don't we run out and just look at some beans that are coming along pretty nice, and maybe we'll talk about them, what we've done to them. We'll go look at some 15-inch beans that were planted early. They're in their early reproductive stages there. We got some that are a little bit later. They're on 30-inch rows, coming looking really nice. They're probably R1 stage. Anyway, we can take a look at all that. Lot going on. We just left the office. We're gonna go to the farm shop. We got one tractor that came in, needs some plows. They'll get those swapped out pretty quick. He's part of the planting crew on this double crop stuff. All right, so I'm gonna go this way and see what the problems are. Uh-oh, we got a whole shank missing here. And there's a broken one right there. Yeah, broken and missing. That's not uncommon though, it's just part of it. We'll go over here and see JJ. They're getting ready to do put this pre-emerge out. All right, JJ. Huh? This is just some pre-emerge stuff on some late beans. And then we're putting some carbon in there as well. Some Monty's calcium plus. So looks like he's taking a pipe somewhere. Where's this going?
South of the barn.
Oh, forgot about that. All right, so this crew is going to put in a pipe. Beavers messed up a pipe last winter and we just dug it out, so now we got to replace it. One of those things that slipped through the cracks. So we got to irrigate the corn, so we need the crossing or the pipe in so the irrigation system will get across the ditch, but we should have that fixed sometime today. That's what, this time of year, all the little things got to come together. Everything we forgot, everything we screwed up. You know, we screw up a lot. Okay, so we were going to look at a few soybeans, I guess. All right, where's my truck? All right, just leave it running, we're gonna go. So what have you got to do? You got a few plows. You gonna fix those shanks that are broken?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit quick. I'll be an hour. I just want to get everything greased up quick.
Okay, I think we got time. Okay, all right. Where's the dog? So these are some of the earliest beans we've had. They're on 15-inch rows. They're a 4 non-maturity. They're a little over knee high. And this is not the best part of the field. It's just easy to get to for us in a hurry. They were always in a hurry. So just jump on for the ride. But just looking at them first glance, stands great, probably 110 to 120,000, probably 115. Field's clean. They're in a R1 to R2 stage. We've got some blooms down there, some that are dropped off, so we'll be getting some pod set soon, I hope. Of course, we started with the Monty's carbon, the calcium plus. Monty's has been in the humic acid business, gosh, since the beginning of time. It started with Monty Justice in the 90s. I mean, they were the first voice out there talking about all the benefits of humic acid. I'm a firm believer. I've been with them for, gosh, 12 years. And a big believer in we use calcium plus, which is their liquid carbon plus 2% calcium, I think. Great results. I mean, the soil health, unparalleled, unmatched. They are the leader. So back to these beans. Yeah, I don't anticipate any problem there. This isn't what I would say a high yielding field, but the way they look now, they ought to easily make 80 to 90 bushels. May surprise me, may do a little better, just depends on the weather we have. Temperatures, if we can hold our pods. If we can get 20, 21 nodes and hold 5 or 6 pods a node and have a good set would be great. So I can tell he's loaded because the tail's set down a little bit. We're busy, it's that time of year. My shovel is broken. Somebody broke the handle out of it. Look at all the roots. Look at this, that thing's out there almost a foot. Look at all the nodules. That is what the inoculant does for you. Right there, that root right there was extending almost into the other row. And it's 15 inches long, and I broke off more roots than I saved, but look at all those white nodules right there on the main stem. Those are the ones working for that. Again, that is what the inoculant does for you. If we look close enough, we can usually see some little black nodules, and those are the ones that are native to our soils. But these big fat white ones that are producing the nitrogen for the beans are the ones that the inoculant gives us. So that's great. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I mean, I broke more roots off than I pulled up, but this is the one that most impresses me. this lateral root going out there into the other. How many nodules are on that? That's probably 30, 40 nodules just on that alone. If we break them open, they should have a little pink tint to them. And they do. If you can see that or not. It's almost a pinkish, brownish tint. And that's producing nitrogen for the soybean plant. That's the rhizobia bacteria at work for you. There's nothing that needs saying about this except that's impressive. This is ABM right here. So our inoculant here is a Graphex by ABM. I mean, I've been with them forever, and they know what they're doing. I mean, they cultivate these inoculants, and then we can apply it either as a hopper box, as a dry product with the Graphex, or Marauder is their liquid product that can just go in with the seed treatment. So we got seed treatment of 3 fungicides, 1 insecticide, plus our inoculant. I mean, this is nothing I can say. The proof lies in the picture. All right, sprayers and planes coming. There goes a plane. I think we've got a few minutes before the sprayer passes by. We're gonna go up the road and look at some beans. Age-wise, they're probably a month old, 3 to 4 weeks old. They're in 30-inch rows. So these have been in 15-inch rows. We're gonna look at some 30-inch rows. That's for irrigation purposes. We gotta lay out the poly pipe. They look pretty nice. They're actually a 3.9 maturity, and I've had great luck with that. I've made 100 bushels on a 3.9 maturity down here. So proud of that. We're gonna run up the road, just see what we got. I hadn't looked at them in a while, so it'll be a surprise for both of us, or all of us.
Estes Concaves has made a big difference for us. I would safely say we've increased our capacity by 1,000 bushel per hour.
Guaranteed to get it done right there. I will win.
Give Estes a try.
I'm very fortunate that I've been working with Concept Agritech now for 4 years. We have 12 Concept Agritech plots out right now. We feel like we're picking up some pretty good bushels.
Oh, here's one of their flagship products here. This is their Cowboy product. It's their calcium boron premix. They do have a great line of products here. Man, this is like drinking water. I think every crop needs a gallon or 2 of it. It's just, it does that much for you.
Back at Podfathers again. Thanks for coming. We're at Dell Brothers over here across the bridge, helping mentor some younger generation guys. It's Greg Dell, and we're trying to improve his yields. Brought some products over that we're going to blend. We're going to do that, and we're going to see where this goes. Is he in here trading grain right now?
He's probably selling your carbon credits.
I hope he is. That's what I need. This is very nice.
Yep. It's where I watch every episode. Right here, baby, on the big screen.
That and Corn Warriors. Who works in here testing grain?
My dad.
So he does everything. So he's marketing and he's testing every load.
He's unloading it all. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
I always ragged on him for not working. It seems like he's doing like 6 jobs.
He takes care of, well, you know, every truck comes across them scales right there, and he takes care of all of it.
How many bushels of corn do you guys usually take in?
Somewhere around 400,000, I'd say.
Is that including yours, or that
includes ours?
That includes yours.
Somewhere between 400,000 and half a million, depends on the year. Probably half as many beans. Somewhere around 2, I would guess. Well, and a lot of them get moved through us, but never come here.
He's just marketing them.
That's right. Yeah.
Look at you.
Mostly.
Big winner.
Yeah, for a couple
years. Is that
years.
you or your dad?
My uncle, my grandfather, and I'm in here one of them. I think 19 was me. There's a first placer, 04.
So you haven't won since 04?
Yeah, that was the last big win. Yep.
We'll see if we can get you back up there. All right,
yep.
Go see if he's off the phone.
He's probably jibber jabber.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah.
Did you find anything about carbon credits yet?
I'm working on it. I actually emailed a guy yesterday looking into the marketing part of it, and he's going to get back to me.
I feel like Dell Brothers is getting ready to start buying carbon credits from people around and reselling them. Yeah, we're not buying grain anymore. Grain facilities closed, but we are buying carbon credits.
Carbon credit dealer.
Well,
of the mid.
It's kind of like marketing grain and him never touching it. Isn't it the same?
Yeah.
Not different at all.
I don't do enough of that, not touching it.
Well, maybe if you answer the phone once in a while when I call you, or call me back, maybe you could do more.
I think that's a two-way street because
it actually is.
It definitely is. 100%. That's definitely a two-way street.
Well, you want to take these guys around and show them around and tell them what you do here?
Sure.
How much storage did you tell them we had, just so I have the right?
2 million.
Well, we'll just go ahead and up it from there.
Yep.
There you go.
It just grows. It just grows every person we talk to. See you later.
See ya.
See you, Frank. We generally have a stronger basis than most areas because we're the closest to the chickens and the population,
and there's not as much of it.
Yeah, and there's not as much corn, so if you got to rail corn into here, it's going to cost probably more than what they're buying it from us for. We do have some fluctuation in basis, especially when in a year where we might not have as good a crop, but generally we have pretty strong basis. A delivered average price would be 75 to 80 cents over the CME board for old crop corn this time of year. And right now we're a little bit above that. They're covering their needs, and you know, basis dropped off early in June because they had paid up and got a lot of corn bought throughout the spring, so you know, they had their needs covered through July, but now they're looking August, September to get in that fill. Same way with beans. Even though we should be seeing a stronger basis, we're usually minus 35 on beans here, and right now 10 to 20 over is a good number for beans.
Where does most of your beans go? Does it all still go to the chicken industry?
Most of our beans the last 2 years have gone to export.
Have you ever thought about filling seed containers here?
We talk about it all the time. And we don't have the labor to do that right now. I think we all try to think what we're going to do next when we get another group of family members in here.
It's all about the next generation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And he's going to go screw off with us today. You good with that?
It's a normal day.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's kind of like normal day.
You got a mouse in there? There it is. Sure enough, there wasn't.
Are we really hunting mice right now?
Yeah.
Oh, there he comes, right here.
Right here.
Look. He got him.
He got him.
I told you he's the best cat we ever had. Let's take a quick look at this building up here before you go, and then I'll go back to what I was doing. So this is our flat storage. Fill it from corn from end to end, and we also store our seed in here.
So you just run dry corn in and then pull plates up as you need?
Yes. Pretty slick idea, really.
It's really an awesome idea.
I just wish it was taller.
Do you worry about some spillage, some molding?
It can, but we've gotten better since we put them 2 big fans in the end.
Just to pull air through the building.
Pulls air, and if it gets a little moisture on, from sweating, it keeps
Comes
it
out.
flowing out.
Do you run it into your tanks dry and let it get good and cool, and then run it over here?
So that's what we try to do. It all depends
Till you get
on
jammed.
how busy we are. In years past, when we've had time and we get a break, like for rain or whatever, we'll pull it out of the tanks and run it up here.
All right, let's go look at some beans.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate what you're doing for Greg.
We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it. It's really going to help that bean finish off strong.
But on our farm, we got to average a 6 bushel better with the Revitec fungicide than any other fungicide.
Probably absent of disease just because we've got the Revitec out here, but just mainly for the plant health.
The one thing that is a must, that's this product right here. Reducing stress adds bushels.
We got some Monty's product. We use it in a lot of other crops. It's a changer. Monty's.
That's what our carbon and the AgriSuite is doing, is breaking down that phosphorus that's in the soil and making it available to these plants, and it's showing.
We focus on things that complement soil biology, things that complement soil health.
Monty's liquid carbon, it just keeps giving back. We moved down the road a couple of miles, and now we're in some 30-inch beans. And as a reminder, we do a lot of furrow irrigation in the south. So this field has been precision leveled, 1/10 of a fall to the west. And we put these in 30-inch rows so we can irrigate the soybeans down the middle. So it's not quite dry enough, we're behind, but we'll get some irrigation tubing, some poly pipe laid out, and we'll be able to irrigate these full season. So what we've got here though, this is a 3.9 maturity, and it's kind of early for our area. They're about a month old, probably not quite a month old. And I looked in here and they are still at vegetative. I did not find a bloom. They look great, they're just not in any reproductive stage yet. We've sprayed them once, post-emerge. We put down a pre-emerge, and we sprayed them once post-emerge, and that's why some of these weeds are twisted up from the auxin herbicides we use. You know, these are extend beans, so we use the Ingenia on these with some more residuals. We'll probably have to come back one more time. And in that post-application, we use some foliar fertilizers. That's why there's some speckling on the leaves, a little burn. But and that could be from the foliar fertilizer or the residual herbicide. Sometimes will cause a little burn. Nothing to be worried about. They'll grow out of this in a few days, and you know, they're well on their way. Population's nice. We probably planted these at 130,000 and got 120 up. Had plenty of moisture when we planted these. So nice field, good and consistent. Back to consistency. We got to be consistent and yield. It's not all about record yield. It's just consistent. I'm a firm believer in that. I used to just try to make a high yield on every field, and sometimes you just can't do it. So it's a lot easier to balance the books with more consistency. So in our program with the humic acids, the Monty's Calcium Plus, the leaf, but just look at the leaf size. I mean, they're almost as big as my hand on these young soybeans. And I mean, they're just healthy. The new leaves are coming. Look at that. I mean, those are be unfurled by this afternoon. So good healthy plants. Don't anticipate a problem at all. I mean, the leaves are the receivers for the sunlight. So that's energy. So coupled with the plant's gleaning from the sun and what it's taking out of the soil, that gives us a yield at the end of the day. These beans have inoculant as well. Either the Graph-X or the Marauder ABM product. They use multiple strains of Rhizobia bacteria to get those huge and countless nodules on the roots of the soybeans. So for 100 bushel beans, a bean needs about 5 pounds of nitrogen per bushel. And it is believed that a soybean can only make 350 to 400 units of nitrogen. So if you do the math, that's somewhere around 80 to 85 bushels without any supplemental nitrogen. So therefore, that's why some growers apply 40, 50 units of nitrogen for that expected yield boost. Supplemental nitrogen. Do I use supplemental nitrogen? I have in the past, but I don't as a habit. And you say, why? Well, this is following corn, and we put out plenty of nitrogen on the corn, so there should be some residual nitrogen. We put out a lot of poultry litter, so it's always breaking down, releasing more nitrogen. There's just nitrogen in the soil that is available for these plants. So on my farm, I don't believe that to exceed 100 bushels, I need to put out any supplemental nitrogen. I may be wrong, but again, the math, I made over 100 bushels numerous times and never applied supplemental nitrogen. Maybe that's what's capping me at the 113, 115, but I have seen yields out here in the 130s. So, plus our soil should be in great health. so the microbes in the soil are continually breaking down unavailable or nitrogen that's previously unavailable. So we're at Chester's Barbecue. Y'all rolling yet? We're in Augusta at Chester's Barbecue. We're gonna get some good barbecue and step up this window in order. So this is Chester's Barbecue in Augusta. So I think everybody's gonna get something to eat. So what are you recommending today?
Well, ribs. Sandwiches. I sell a lot of barbecue sandwiches in rib places.
There you go. So we're gonna order something here.
2 sandwiches and 1 sandwich, 2 in the plate.
Yeah, and I'll have another plate with some ribs too. So we're here late this morning and with Kyle Ridings. He's been at Broadview as a pilot for I guess going on his 5th season. We're gonna talk about a little fungicide, Revitec in particular. It's our soybean fungicide. We've already looked at beans this morning, and we've got some at R1 and R2. So the ones at R2 are approaching fungicide application. And we'll take our fungicide, Revitec, and we'll put some foliar products in there as well. Maybe even some hormonal products, plant hormones to help stimulate growth and retention. But for right now, we're talking about Revitec. We've been using it this will be our 2nd year. We looked at some on a limited basis 3 years ago, used it across the majority of the soybeans last year. Get season-long control. I like to go a little early for the plant health benefits. There's 3 components in there, 3 fungicides. The Strobe in there, which is the same as Preaxor, again by BASF. Gives us 3 modes of protection for season-long control. And what we like about it is the low use rate, 7 or 8 ounces. I think it's 8 ounces on the Revitec. It's easy to handle, easy to mix. We can put our fertility products in there and any other foliar amendments we feel like we might need. It can go out as low as 2 gallons an acre. So that's really nice for a plane here. Kyle, you might talk about that. I mean, this plane holds 400 gallons, so
400-gallon hopper.
So yeah, along with that, the flexibility there is key. You can go out as low as 2 gallons an acre. The farmer, the end user doesn't have to feel like all they can put out is Revitec because it mixes with everything, all your fertility products. The biggest benefit is season-long disease control, plus the added plant health benefits that you get from the Strobe or the Preaxor in there. That's something no one likes to really, or no one really understands the plant health benefits with the fungicide. So in the absence of disease, you're still getting benefits, six bushels to the acre benefit. So if beans are $14 or $12, 6 bushels, that's $72. Well, this including the application should be certainly less than 20. So that's about a 4 to 1 return on your investment. And it pays 4 out of 5 years. I don't think there's ever a case where it does not at least break even, but we always have adverse conditions around here. The heat and the humidity and the moisture, it'll keep your beans healthy, disease-free through harvest. It just works. You've got 3 components in there fighting off disease. Most fungicides just have 1 or 2. So with 3 modes of action, plus the added plant health benefits, you'll have a good, healthy bean through harvest. Okay, it's been a short day for Podfathers here in Gregory, Arkansas on mid-June, I guess, June the 19th. Gotten several things accomplished. We looked at some good-looking soybeans. What we were most impressed by was the nodules on the plants coming along nicely. So feeling good about that. From there, we came over to the flying service and talked about Revitec by BASF. From there, let's see, we went up and looked at some new ground. It's been, as of last week, it was underwater, but as of this week, the river's down, it's out of the water, so we've got a lot of tillage going on that right now. So we'll try to get that planted this week, and feeling pretty good about this year. But it's been really wet. I always hate to blame everything on the weather, but in farming, a lot of it revolves around the weather. So it's been a struggle, but we're all but done getting the crop in. We've been managing it, we've sprayed it. We saw some sprayers running today, so everything's falling in place for late June. I feel like we're about 10 days late, but we're not so late we can't recover. So with all that being said, it's been a great day here working with the Podfathers, and y'all have a safe trip. Until next time.
Improve germination in your fields with the Germinator Closing Wheel from Farm Shop MFG. Our spike design with inner rim shoulder firmer seals your seed with a firm vein of soil, providing maximum seed-to-soil contact. In low moisture conditions, this vein of firmness has the added benefit of wicking moisture up from the ground, creating the ideal environment for maximum germination. For more info and to order a set of Germinator Closing Wheels for your planter, visit farmshopmfg.com.
We're gonna go, the plots right here.
And you can go out the end of this building and look down over, well, that's all corn. Never mind. That's all corn back there.
You don't even know what's planted there anyway. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, where are we going there, Greggy?
I don't know, where do you wanna go?
I don't know, it's the first time I've been here.
The plots are up here.
Okay. We want to walk back there to it, or are we
We
driving?
can, it's right around that barn. Or you wanna drive, it doesn't matter.
You guys should definitely walk.
Selfie. Do you want to go look at those other beans, or we ain't got time for that shit?
We can go look at them real quick. We'll spend a few seconds here and a few seconds over there.
See what I'm talking about when I told you about that corn? Look at this spot. Look out there. You can see how it's terrible spot.
No-till.
Yeah, no-till.
It's no-till.
It's a subtle roll.
Where are we going to? The best part of the field?
I was just gonna go in the middle.
Oh, I gotcha.
You know what I mean?
You're not cherry picking like me.
No.
Where's the cherry pick spot? I'm going
honestly,
straight for that spot.
this is pretty much as good as you're gonna get. It's as cherry picked as you're gonna get.
All right. I just need to know that.
The regeneration is unbelievable. I mean,
That's
like
what
I
I'm
say, look
saying.
at this. So you can see all the nips on them, and they're ticking right along. Now they're not as big, obviously, as the ones that aren't ate on. But
Generally, you would never, ever spray the outside turn row where there's deer damage because you're like, it's getting wiped out. Maybe you know, some of this stuff is the regeneration, like you're saying, make it come back, and maybe you actually can grow a crop
you
around the
gain
edges
from
where we don't now.
Right.
You know, you're 0 to 10 bushel around the outside edge.
A lot of it has to do with we've had, fairly good rainfall this year, which helps obviously helps the crop grow back anyway. But I'm saying that since we've been messing with this plot, that the turnaround's unbelievable.
All right, let's walk out here in the middle. Let's see what we got.
I can't have any of these knocked down.
Did you say don't knock them down?
Don't walk through them like I'll walk through yours.
Yeah, because you like tripped through mine. I mean, I'm looking around, I'm trying to find like every plant, but every plant's branched.
Right.
Even when they're on top of each other, every plant's still got branches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the ground hard?
I gotta get 2 feet on the hole. Yeah, it's hard.
This is so much different than my ground. See, if you had that, I mean, this would, on our side, would feel like massive compaction. Right. And it wouldn't come up. It wouldn't grow. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't do anything. It would be the most god-awful thing you've ever seen. You'd be fighting it all year long. These roots are going everywhere. I'm just ripping shit off. It's coming.
Well, that's the biggest problem. Look how long, I mean, look at that root. You probably pulled a bunch of
I'm pulling all kinds of shit up.
You asked about how different when I do dig them, the nodules, I mean, we're loaded up compared to other things that I dig.
Really?
Most of the other are general production acres.
Between, you know, I mean, the carbon and the sugar and the different things, you think that we're actually promoting nodulation?
Absolutely, yeah.
Big time. You've got some good branching here, and I mean, on every branch, even this little teeny tiny one, I mean, you're getting ready to start setting pins on all of them. Blossoms look good.
Certainly come along pretty nice. For being 15-inch rows, I mean, I see branching like that in our 30-inch rows.
Yeah.
But being 15-inch rows and look like that,
yeah,
they're pretty phenomenal.
I'm pretty impressed. You know what I mean? When you're looking at soil samples, a lot of times you need to pay closer attention to your ratios than you pay to your actual sample. Because, yeah, I mean, you look at your actual numbers, you're like, yep, I'm low, let me fix that problem, and that's great, but is it in ratio with the rest? And that's what drives yield. You know, and everything is, you know, it's
all about the balance.
Yep. And it's the same thing with, you know, when you're taking tissue samples, you know, you see one thing, and I do it too, I get caught up in it, and I see one thing, I'm like, holy crap, I'm low in X. And I want to immediately go out there and apply it, but that's not really the answer either. The answer is to make sure that they're all in check and knowing the right time at you know, to facilitate those needs. We use the Monty's product once.
That's right.
And then we use Corey Atlay's once. Right. The only thing that we're setting low on right now is just, we're just setting a little bit low on calcium, aren't we?
Yep.
And then we put in the silica product.
Right, to try and get it through the...
Yeah. So I have stream tips for my sprayer. I sent them over here with Greg, and we put on a high phosphorus blend with a bunch of carbon and sugar and other stuff. And we, since he was a no-till situation and he doesn't have the ability to put an in for a product or a starter on like I do, I was trying to facilitate it to still be able to manage his similar to what I manage, so we could kind of equal the playing field. And then, to be honest with you, what we did with streaming, I feel like it worked.
Oh, I would definitely say so.
Yeah, I feel like it really worked.
I streamed them basically as we would have, as it would have been in furrow. I went right with the rows.
And then you planted on the same exact line.
I streamed them over top of the plant.
Oh, you planted it
It
first
was planted
and then
first.
streamed it.
I streamed it right behind it as soon as it got done. I streamed it.
So it's right there.
Yeah.
So it looks like it worked. Everything looks awesome. Good job, Bean Baby.
And this field was obviously no-till, and there were cows on it in the spring. So
I was more concerned about that than what. Did
I have you worked up?
You had me worked up. You had me worked up.
I had you scared.
Yeah. Backspin, it can just go on regular, so all we got to do is blend some sugar and carbon, that's it. I hope both of these fit in the truck. You got a knife. Oh, Monty's. Monty's. Like a glove. Oh, we're good, ain't we?
You also ought to tighten the one down on that one up there. We'll lose that for sure.
Watch your fork sticking out the end. Put it down. You're good. Off we go. So these are two products that we blended together. alleviate some of that stress. The other one, we're gonna burn them back prior to that. The weather's, I thought it was gonna be cooler today. It's 73 when we came across the bridge. It's probably mid 80s now, but it's humid. Hurricane just passed us by. Thank God we didn't get any of that. We got a little more rain on our side of the bridge than this side. This side, I think Greg said that they got somewhere less than a half an inch, but we had no wind. We were more concerned with the wind. 2 weeks ago, we had a rain event come through. Wasn't much rain to it, but it was hard wind. It was like a straight line wind. There's a lot of corn in our area that's down really bad. We end up with a lot of green snap, but I planted my corn way earlier this year than I normally do. Put some other products on that I normally don't. So between those two things, I got past that. We're full tassel on 90% of our ground right now. So we're kind of past the green snap portion of it. We can still fall down and gooseneck. It can still get bad, but as of right now, we made it past that one. Yeah, we ought to put some kind of straps on there. All right, we're ready to go. All right, Greg, thanks for the visit. I appreciate you having me over today. You look like you're doing a great job. Things really made a lot of improvement. I'm really impressed with what's going on so far.
Things have certainly turned around and kept rolling since we applied what we've been putting on.
Yeah, you guys could use a little bit of rain over here, but you guys are pretty good shape.
Yeah.
God's country is what you tell me it is over here. You get rain all the time.
Yep, it just funnels in here.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here.
All right.
Thought I'd stop around and see what's going on, see how things look.
Before we get too far into this thing, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Corey Atley.
All right, you guys ready to go out?
Look at the nymphs.
We're fixing to clean these dudes up.
We're at that fool's gold stage.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
9.
You flick them on me every time.
Modulation on it is excellent.
Let's go find something good.
I'm happy with it.
I was gonna say, they look great.